Good morning, everybody. It is a overcast and very warm February 3rd, I think today is. This is probably going to end up being the best weather day we've had all year, so I'm going to spend the day hiking in a pretty reliable area, and hopefully we'll be able to see some snakes. I'm not going to dawdle, I'm just going to get after it. It feels amazing out here, and I'd be genuinely surprised if this isn't the best day of the year so far. So at this point in time, it's only about 65 degrees, but I mean, it's first thing in the morning. It's already 65 degrees. The birds are calling, and it feels like spring. So hopefully the snakes will agree. And there's our first snake of the day. Wasn't there 5 minutes ago. He's just now starting to come out. It's a nice adult rat snake. I'm gonna try to get a picture real quick, but we're probably just gonna leave that guy alone and see if he'll come further out on his own. He has definitely noticed me, so we're not going to go any closer, but here's one more look at this guy. Our first rat snake of 2022. Just chilling out, about to come out of this tree, and I'll probably go up in that stuff there and bask, assuming he is not too scared by me standing here. So I'm going to walk away, and we'll come back and revisit this area in a little bit and see if he's all the way out. Look at that. Our second rat snake of the day, and this one is huge. He's up in the tree climbing around, trying to figure out where he wants to bask for the day, I guess. That's so cool. See, this guy's got a bad eye on this side, but the other side is just fine. And he's huge. I mean, this is probably a five foot and change rat snake. And you can see he's kind of coated in mud too. He hasn't come out of hibernation much. I would guess this guy probably hasn't been on the surface much this year until today because it's just been so cold. And hopefully that will be the case for a lot of snakes. I'm kind of banking on that cold weather working in our favor now because everybody's going to be desperate to come up and get active. So hopefully there will be plenty more snakes out. We're just going to leave that guy right there. And just like the other rat, we might come and check up on him later in the day and see what he's up to. But very nice. Full-grown adult black rat snake. Actually, the ones in this area are kind of black-gray intergrade. Sometimes you'll find really dark ones, and then a lot of times you'll find these kind of muddy gray-looking ones, but really cool. Second snake of the day, both rat snakes. Ah, look who it is. We've been seeing this guy since, I guess, early December on the warm days. This is the same rat snake we saw first. I want to say it was probably the first week of December we saw this guy. It was like one of two snakes we saw all day. Just like the last couple times, we're not going to mess with him because I like being able to see snakes over and over again like this. And I know there's plenty of snakes that we do touch that we do get to see over and over again, but when these guys are sitting so perfectly outside of their overwintering sites, there's not really a reason to mess with them. Especially things that are super common like rat snakes. If this guy was a king snake, I might pick him up and look at him, but since it's a rat snake and the third one of the day, we're just going to leave him right there. I might get a little bit closer though after a picture. He actually looks like he's asleep right now. You can't even really see his eyes. Well, yeah, we're gonna have to name this guy if we keep seeing him over and over again. So drop your name suggestions in the comments. Yeah, really nice looking rat snake as our third one of the day. And you can kind of see what I meant. The last one we found was more gray, and this guy's almost completely solid black. So you get a real nice spectrum of gray to black rat snakes in this area. So the awesome thing about this time of year is, since it is kind of springtime, but it's still potential that we could get some cold weather, or at least we could get a couple of cold days in a row still. There's no guarantee of springtime until like mid-April, but for the most part, we can expect it to be decently warm from here on out. But with that being said, there will be some more cold days, some cold overnights. The snakes know that. So between now and mid-April, a lot of the snakes are going to be sticking close to where they spent the winter, which is good for me and anyone else who looks for snakes because there's a pretty narrow field of where they're going to be. And generally, places like this, where you have a nice fallen up tree, are strong candidates because there's lots of underground access. I'm not seeing anybody here, but this is the kind of stuff I'm going to be focusing on today and hoping to see one of our bigger targets like a king snake or a timber rattlesnake. Well, it's been a few minutes since we've seen anything, probably around an hour at this point. And I wish it would stop raining. You know, rain isn't the end of the world because when it's warm like this, a lot of snakes will sit out in it, and It's been drizzling most of the day, so all those snakes we found had been rained on, and they stayed out. So, like I said, it's not the end of the world, but I would feel a lot better if it would stop. Which it wasn't even supposed to rain today, so this is particularly annoying at this point. But I'll keep at it and update you guys. There's some upland chorus frogs calling. I have no idea where from because I don't think there's any water over there, but they're around. There is our next rat snake of the day. We've seen a lot of rat snakes in this little spot over the years, but we haven't seen many recently. So it's definitely cool to see this guy here today. They've done a whole lot of construction on this little area in the last 2 years, and I think that's kind of made the snakes a little wary of it. But it's nice to see one using it today. I've seen as many as 4 rat snakes in this little area at once. It looks like it's just this guy today. It feels so awesome out here. I really can't believe we haven't seen a king snake or timber yet, or really just we haven't seen more than we have. We've only seen rat snakes. This is our 4th snake of the day and our 4th rat snake. So if I actually pull my flashlight out and shine into the crack, let's see, there is another rat snake back there. There he is. You can kind of see him a little bit. Rat snake number 5 for the day right there. So this is kind of cool. Someone definitely put this piece of bark here because like that's just not where the bark lands and there's nothing above it. But whoever put this here made a nice little spot for this green tree frog. I'm guessing he probably came out from maybe behind this bark or somewhere deeper down, and he decided to hang out up here where it's a little bit warmer. But that's the first one of those for the year, I believe, which is really cool. So I'm just gonna leave him right there, put his piece down, and we're gonna head that direction. And there it is, an eastern king snake in situ. I'm gonna get a photo real quick and then we'll get a better look at him, but oh my goodness. Look at that. Looks healthy. I don't see anything wrong with it. Maybe a little bit thin, but that is our first king snake of the year. Incredible. There's just something purely magical about this and the first king snake of the spring. It's massive, it's big, it's huge. It's all downhill from here. I mean, we can have cold snaps, but what does it matter? I just found a king snake. Winter is over. Winter is dead. Goodbye, Felicia. See you next year. Look at that thing. I can't believe it. I thought we were just gonna see rat snakes today, and I was prepared to go home happy about that, but now I'm just ecstatic. I can't believe this. I knew today was gonna be decent weather for kings, but this breeze makes it a little bit less warm than I was hoping. But nevertheless, there he sits. I'm guessing he came out of that stump, or potentially the end of this log maybe. Just wow. This guy is sitting very nicely, but I do want to get a better look at him since it's our first king of the year. So we're gonna pull him out here. Oh, he's awake too, very gently. How's it going, buddy? There we go. Look at that. Just amazing. Looks like a female at first glance. Fairly healthy, maybe a little bit on the thin side, but this time of year most snakes are. That is amazing. This is one of these king snakes that poops everywhere and balls up. So I kind of regret even messing with it now, but I wanted to see if it was a boy or a girl and make sure it was pretty healthy. So yeah, we're just gonna put her back and we're gonna see what else we can turn up. But that makes my day, makes my month, and is probably my favorite find of the year so far, even though she's a little bit shy. But that is an awesome snake. Let's put her back and get back to it. So I'm sitting here looking at this king snake, and I notice that guy. That's a racer, our first one of the day. He actually started coming out of this stump hole while I was taking pictures of the king snake. Go on. I'm trying to let you go, but you're still trying to be a ball. I think he's gonna go under the log, maybe. He's looking around. Maybe he's looking for that racer. I'm sure he smells that thing. Although he spent the winter with it, I'm assuming, so maybe it's a little too big for him to eat. You smell something? You smell something over there? I'm guessing he's gonna go in that hole right there. Or he's just gonna crawl somewhere. Look at him, it looks like he smells that racer. That is so awesome. First king of 2022. Slurp. Apparently it's just happening over here because I've taken about 3 steps and there is a box turtle over there. I'm gonna get a picture and then we'll see if we can get closer to him. So this guy is unfortunately not looking super healthy. Generally when you see a box turtle with their eyes, oh yeah, that's not good. He just blew a bubble out of his nose. There is a pretty serious disease going around in box turtles that I didn't really know about, or at least I didn't know how serious it was until I listened to a podcast recently where Dr. Chris Jenkins of Snake Talk interviewed a reptile and amphibian pathologist. So basically this guy studies diseases in reptiles and amphibians. Turns out ranavirus, which is a disease that originated in frogs, I believe, has been affecting box turtles more than just about anything. I'm worried that could be what the sick box turtles we've been seeing are afflicted with. But I don't really know anything about the symptoms. I'm definitely not gonna touch this guy because I don't wanna potentially spread the disease, assuming that's even what he has. Either way, I'm fairly confident this is not a healthy box turtle just based on the swollen eyes and that bubble he blew out of his nose. Not a good sign. We don't see box turtles terribly often in the winter, especially if it's not been raining. And when we do, unfortunately, it seems like a lot of the time they're sickly. And this guy has not opened his eyes yet and has barely moved much, so we're just gonna leave him alone and hope for the best. The fact that we managed to find a cottonmouth yesterday in the northern half of Georgia, where they're a lot harder to find, but we haven't seen a single viper yet today. No venomous snakes. There's lots of cottonmouths here, lots of copperheads, lots of timbers. But I can't seem to find any of them. But then again, until a few minutes ago, I could only find rat snakes today, so maybe that'll change. Well, I just watched another rat snake go down that hole in that stump. His head was just barely poking out. And the second I walked around the corner, he dipped. It seems like stuff's a little bit wary to come out completely today. I've had a couple of snakes, including that racer that you guys saw, just start to come out and then see me and then dip, which sucks, but hey, we're finding snakes left and right at this point. This has been a fantastic day, and we still got another hour or so of good hunting weather, so we're gonna keep at it. Not already. Ugh. Look at that. That's a cool NC too. Rat snake number 7, I think. Only the 6th we've gotten video of though. Really cool. I'm not seeing anything else in this little area, but this guy's really interesting looking. He's definitely a little bit thin, but he's got a real cool gray, kind of brownish gray color to him. We're just gonna leave him right there though. He's chilling. Well, I just almost stepped on that. Luckily I didn't. I saw it right as I stepped and jumped. I was coming from that tree, heading over this way. Whew, my heart's racing. That's definitely the closest I've ever come to stepping on a rattlesnake. Thank God for instincts and intuition. And I just happened to look down. But what a beautiful snake. Look at that. I'm still shaking from that, but just look at that. What a day we're having out here. That is an incredible looking rattlesnake. And as you can see, all he did when I came inches from stepping straight down on top of his head was look at me and start flicking his tongue a little bit. They have no interest in hurting us unless we have interest in hurting them. So yeah, watch where you put your feet, ladies and gentlemen, because as much respect as I have for this guy, I have no doubt that if I stepped on him, he would have reacted accordingly and probably would have bit me. I would like to think that he wouldn't have, but you never know. And can we just take a moment to appreciate how that is one of the best looking snakes I think I've ever found on this channel. I mean, it's just insane how attractive this timber is. Look at that. It's incredible. All right, big guy, we're gonna leave you right there. What an amazing animal. I I can't believe I almost stepped on this thing. That was crazy. And like I said, it was just pure intuition that I looked down before I planted my foot. I was actively planting my foot down when I looked down and saw him, and only because I had momentum was I able to jump. I quite literally jumped over the snake just out of instinct. My heart was racing. I know these animals are incredibly inoffensive and you really have to be messing with them to get bit by one, but it's definitely possible to just misplace your step and end up in the wrong spot. And that is how some people get bit. Almost all snake bites happen when people are trying to capture or kill the snake, but honest mistakes happen. The more I sit here and look at it, the more I just want to sit here with the snake and stare at it. It's absolutely mesmerizingly beautiful. And the fact that I came very close to letting it ruin my amazing day I'm having by stepping on it, and probably ruining his amazing day sitting out enjoying the warmth for the first time in months, it just would have been bad all around, and I'm glad it didn't go that direction. So I'm gonna get a couple more photos of this guy, and we're just gonna leave him right there. This is also a big timber. I'd say the snake is probably at least 4.5 feet. It's bigger than a dinner plate coiled up, and it's definitely as big around as my forearm. I feel like we understand each other pretty well. I took photos for a minute. He was flicking his tongue, and he got used to me watching him and relaxed a little bit, and now he hasn't flicked in a minute. So generally when these snakes start flicking their tongues, it means that you've spooked them enough that they're unhappy and they're just trying to rely on their camouflage. But the fact that he's actually stopped flicking his tongue and hasn't tried to crawl away means that hopefully I haven't bothered him too much. So I'm just gonna leave that guy right there, and we're gonna actually walk around this little area a little bit more and see if there's anything else, because a lot of times for big rattlesnakes to get underground and brumate, there has to be a pretty significant amount of structure and some pretty big holes. So hopefully that means there are multiple in this area, and we're gonna see if we can find them. There's another timber right there. Right there. What on earth? This is how I expect them to be. I don't expect them to just be pancaked out in the middle of the open like it's the middle of the summer. I expect them to be kind of tucked away, trying to hide and get a little bit of sun like this guy is. But wow, 2 rattlesnakes here at the end of the day, back to back, within minutes of each other. You can tell we've lost any semblance of sunshine. It's just very heavily overcast at this point. So I'm kind of starting to make my way back to the car, but here's one more look at this guy, just chilling in there. That's a small snake, maybe a 2-year-old, 3-year-old timber. The other one is a full-grown adult, and I'd say this guy's maybe a sub-adult. Not quite a juvenile, but definitely not old enough to breed yet. So we're gonna leave that guy right there. So before I call it a day, I stopped to check on that rat snake we saw first thing this morning. I didn't see him anywhere. I didn't see him up in the tree, so I'm assuming he either crawled off somewhere else or went back in the hole. That guy was right off of a trail, so it's very possible other people spooked him, even though I didn't. So I'm probably gonna walk around for maybe 15 more minutes, and then I'm gonna have to call it a day because it's starting to get very dark out here and there's rain coming, and I don't want to be driving home in the rain. But yeah, what a fantastic day. If I see anything else, I will let you guys know, but if not, I'll probably cut to an outro here in a minute. All right, so this was our second rat snake of the day, and he's still here, but he's kind of hard to see. It's definitely the biggest snake we've seen today. You can see he was initially on this branch here, and he just kind of crawled up there. I'm guessing on the sun-facing side so we can warm up better, but nice to see that guy again. I'm gonna start making my way back to the car now, and if I see anything else, I will let you guys know. Well, I made it home and it's raining, and that's a good critter to end the video on. Nice spotted salamander. There's a ton of them on the road right now. I decided to stop and get video of one for you guys, since I'm gonna be wrapping this video up here soon, but yeah, nice male spotted salamander. There are so many dead salamanders on the road, it's awful, but here is a live gravid female spotted that we're gonna get to help across and make sure she doesn't get squished. And hopefully she'll be able to lay her eggs tonight. And here's another one. This is a really nice looking young male. He's got some weird stuff going on the side of his face there. I don't know what that's about. Very nice. Alright guys, well I made it home safely. This storm is no joke. I wanted to go out and look for salamanders tonight, but the amount of thunder and lightning and potential tornadoes has me a little bit hesitant, and I'm absolutely exhausted. It's been 4 straight days of non-stop herping. This has really been the first good week of herping we've had since the new year started, so I wanted to take advantage of it as much as I could. I think we did a pretty good job overall. With that being said, I didn't see anything the first day, so really you're only seeing 3 days of this, 2 of which were in the last video, and then today was in today's video. But we really cleaned up today. It started kind of slow, but it picked up and finished very strong. And I had an absolute blast, so thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully we will have plenty of warm weather coming our way soon. So I will see you guys in the next episode.